Hey everyone, welcome back to Elevator Pitch. My name is Joe Ennis, and today I am speaking with my friend Vikas, who is the founder of Franchises All Over. Vikas helps different entrepreneurs and people who are interested in potentially getting into the franchise business or owning a franchise. Vikas helps them find the right one for their budget, for their specific type of work that they'd like to get into, both in real estate as well as in other types of franchises. In this episode, Vikas breaks down different franchises and different, things that you should know before potentially getting into a franchise and how to find the right one for you. I really enjoyed this episode, so hopefully you do too. Want to thank Vikas one more time for coming on. It was a great episode. And remember, subscribe to the podcast if you are not yet. If you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. But if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or your preferred podcast platform, please subscribe there as well. It helps out the channel and helps us to continue to grow. So thanks again. Enjoy the episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to Elevator Pitch. My name is Joe Ennis, and today I am joined by Vikas. Vikas, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
So my company is called Franchises All Over, and I really help budding entrepreneurs be their own bosses by matching them to the right franchises based on their interests, their passions, and liquid capital. And I do want to mention here that people think of franchises only as McDonald's and Subway, but there is much more to franchises. There are several categories of franchises available. There's senior care, there's home improvement, there's real estate, there's several categories.
Yeah, I know. We actually tried to record this and we had some computer issues. But anyways, I was asking you, when I hear about, franchises, I immediately jump to like restaurants. And my next question is, what are some of the biggest issues that you see in your field? And one of the follow-ups I asked was, is that, is part of it, just educating people on what more franchises there are instead of just McDonald's and Subways. But, I'll turn it over to you. What are some of the biggest issues that you see, and how are you trying to tackle those and solve those issues?
Absolutely. Like you alluded, that is one of the biggest issues I see. There is generally a lack of clarity around franchises. And as consequently, this results in not very many good leads for me. So I address this by trying to educate people on franchises through various forums and social media. I tell them that there is a certain amount of liquid capital that is needed. And of course, informing them of the various categories of franchises available, and generally giving them some important information that they can then use to decide whether or not they want to purchase a franchise or not.
Gotcha. Vikas, what kind of goes into, the process when you're working with a client or with someone who's interested in setting up a franchise? What are some things that people that might want to be franchise owners should know going into, working with someone like you?
So my first thing is I try to find out what is their pain point, why are they looking for a franchise, and then based on that, I try to educate them about franchises. I try to find the right franchise for them, whatever, it depends on their passion and their interest. And then once I presented the franchise to them, I just hook them up with the franchisors, and really there needs to be a match between them and the franchisor, and both of them have to feel happy with each other before the candidate goes and purchases the franchise.
Sure. That makes sense. Because, there's other businesses that, help people do this. There's other franchisee, agents that are helping people connect with different franchises and buy franchises. What sets Franchises All Over apart from, other businesses similar to yours?
So I am a member of the Franchise Brokers Association, and one of our taglines is that we are committed to finding good franchises for you. So we have a very solid vetting out process where we vet out all the franchises that we present to the candidates, and we do not present anything that's just lurking out there. We really vet it out properly. And the other important thing is I do not charge anything for my services. I will not ask you to pay me anything. I will not ask you to sign anything. I get compensated at the end by the franchisor when the candidate actually buys the franchise.
Cool. So it's kind of like a real estate agent almost, where you
It
get
is.
paid
It is.
from. Cool. Interesting. What are some of the you hit on it a little bit at the beginning, but what are some of the more what are some of the franchises that you kind of have expertise in? Is there a specific area that you like to focus on, or do you kind of help with everything?
Yeah, so I typically I never say no to any kind of franchise, but if you ask for my expertise, I am more inclined towards real estate franchises because they tend to do very well, and real estate is one of the more interesting wealth making machinery. And then of course there is the senior care, there is child education, there is travel, which I'm passionate about myself, so I can sell travel related franchises also.
Cool. That's awesome. Um, Vikas, why is this, why is working with a company like you, like your business, something that people should care about? Why is this something, why is your field something that people should consider looking into when trying to buy a franchise? Why not just go straight to the franchise themselves? Why should people care about this kind of field, and why is it important?
Absolutely. So one of the things people should care about this is because I care about them in return. So I am very committed to the process, and like I said, because I get compensated at the end, I'm just holding the hand and guiding them along all through the way. And really, in the current economic and general scenario, a lot of people have been seeking the independence to be their own bosses, so that they can do what they like and how they like it. And I impart them that education. I give them the support. I am their friend and philosopher and guide, through this whole process until they like what they want. And there is no sales pressure from me.
Awesome. Vikas, you are located in San Antonio, Texas. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so my next question, who are your ideal clients? Do you only work with people in San Antonio? Do you work with people all around the world? Who are, your ideal clients that you enjoy working with?
So no, I don't work with people only in San Antonio, although it helps sometimes, because when you can meet them face to face. But I work with people anywhere in the US. So my ideal candidate is somebody who wants to do this, somebody who is a self-starter, has a fairly good idea of what they want, wants to be independent, and very importantly, has at least 20 to 50,000 K in liquid capital, a decent enough credit history to be able to invest in different kinds of investments in the startup cost. And of course, very importantly, they need to have the entrepreneur spirit.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Vikas, thank you so much for being here, just educating my audience a little bit about, franchisees and franchising agents and, what it looks like, what people should prepare for. The spotlight is yours. Please let people know, how they can get in touch with you, if they want to work with you, how to do that, a little bit about what's going on. And then you also wanted to mention your travel agency as well. Feel free to, promote that as well. You have the floor.
Absolutely. So like I said, if you're the ideal candidate, as I described above, the best way is to visit my website at www.franchisesallover.com, or email me at Vic, that's VIK, at franchisesallover.com, or text me or call me 210-816-1663. So these are the best ways to contact me. By the way, like Joe mentioned, I also do travel planning and booking around the world. So whether it's land packages, ocean cruises, river cruises, all inclusive, any kind of thing, you can contact me at the same number or email address, and I can plan your dream vacation for you also. Or I can even sell a travel franchise to you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Vikas, thank you again so much for being here today.
Thank you, Joe.
Listeners, as always, the links to everything Vikas will be in the description of this episode, both whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple or Spotify or wherever. Vikas, again, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me over. It was a pleasure.
Hey, I want to thank Vikas one more time for coming on. It was a fantastic episode. If you are new here, click that subscribe button right above my head. If you're listening on your preferred podcast platform, you can subscribe there as well. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can click one of these videos right next to me right here. Thank you again for listening.